We had to come straight from the lab in this one because on the card, I think that this is one of the more difficult fights to break down, and I'm really anticipating this fight between the minor Nikita Krylov taking on Paul Craig, aka the Bear Jew, who is 15-4-1, and he's been impressive of late. I mean, he has won 4 or 5, but that one draw in between there was a road, what I thought should have been victory over Shogun. He could easily be on a 5 fight win streak, and I was glad that they were able to run that fight back because Paul Craig was deserving of that W, and he put a statement victory on it in that rematch. And since then, it's been nothing but body sessions, right? He took out Ghazi Murad Antigulov, finished him. He finished Shogun, and then he finished Jamal Hill, right? I mean, those are all pretty impressive wins, and the one over Jamal Hill is probably the most impressive. I mean, especially given what Jamal Hill has done recently. And we were at that fight. Paul Craig made pretty light work of Jamal Hill. It was over before it began. Jamal Hill had a rubber elbow, and ultimately it was just another sweet victory for Paul Craig, who not too long ago had his back up against the wall and was literally a second away from his UFC career ending before he pulled off that YOLO sub over Magomed Ankalaev. So interested to see how he does against Krylov in this one, who, speaking of Ankalaev, just beat Krylov most recently, and Nikita's only recent loss, or excuse me, his only recent win of his last three was against Johnny Walker. It was a dominant, unanimous victory. Not the sexiest victory by any means, but one that was clear and decisive for the Ukrainian fighter. And the last loss before that was a split decision versus Glover, which even to just get it to the judges and even win by one judge's viewing is pretty impressive against Glover the GOAT. So, what are your thoughts on this one? It looks like Krylov is a decent favorite, but again, another example where Tapology is super bullish on the dog. So, is Tapology going to actually nail this one and Bearju gets this done, or Tapology is just a bunch of casuals and Vegas is all over the minor again? What do you think?
Yeah, no, this is a man. It's such a great fight. I think this is going to be a one-sided mauling though, for the Bear Jew. I think the Bear Jew is going to submit him in the first or second round. Nikita did look good versus Johnny Walker, but I'm going to be honest. I think everybody in the last few fights have been looking good versus Johnny Walker. So doesn't really say much to the minor, but the Bear Jew is going to get it done via submission early and often.
Yeah, that's his go-to, right? I mean, we know he's got that lethal ground game. He has, however, been getting some recent TKOs. I mean, especially the Jamal Hill one, that was completely set up by the ground game, right? It was almost like he had a submission, then suddenly turned it into a TKO. So obviously, the threatening groundwork of Paul Craig contributed to that TKO outcome for him. And if you'll notice, the 68% of Tapology, majority of it is copper, right? And deservedly so, because the Bear Jew has some of the slickest ground game that's in the UFC, and so it's no surprise to see him garnering so much copper support for that sub. 32% is rolling, however, with the minor. It's a majority of it is by decision. There is a sliver of brown though, about not half of it, but close to it. So, any chance that Nikita Krylov gets a finish over Paul Craig, or are you that convinced that it's a one-sided mauling?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way Nikita Krylov gets the win unless somehow he can weather out a grimy decision. There's no way he gets a finish. I mean, anyone can get a finish, I guess. I can't really say that because, on the feet, someone eats a meat bomb from, standing. Yeah, you're going down. But Krylov is probably gonna try to grapple, which you really don't want to grapple with the Bear Jew. That's just not a good idea, I would say. So I think it's gonna be a one-sided mauling. Bear Jew's getting that via sub, probably a triangle or a rear naked, if I had to guess. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how the minor does in this fight.
Yeah, good stuff. And we have seen Nikita, try to get this fight to the mat. That's been his game plan in some contests. But I actually think that he's going to try and keep this fight standing. And I'm going to pick Nikita Krylov in this one. I think that he's going to win a gritty decision. I guess what I'm anticipating is the minor having what it takes to keep this fight standing. And once Paul Craig isn't able to get this thing to the mat, I think he might struggle on the feet the longer this fight goes. So I'm banking on the minor having, stout takedown defense. They're pretty similar in size, right? We know the Bear Jew's a pretty big light heavyweight, but so is Nikita. I mean, they're both 6'3". and Nikita's going to have an inch and a half reach advantage, which I think might be beneficial for him. And ultimately, I like him to land more strikes on the feet, keep this thing on the feet, and grit out a decision. But if Paul Craig gets another YOLO sub, then who's going to be surprised anymore? Because, I mean, if you asked just the casual fan, who's someone in the 205 division that has a win over Magomed Ankalaev and Jamal Hill, I doubt that Paul Craig would be the first guy that they think of. So I'm rolling with Nikita in this one, but I can see Craig for sure. Any last thoughts?
No, I think this is gonna be one heck of a fight, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a quick sub nonetheless. But yeah, boys, throw in the comments who you guys got. If you agree with us, and how he's getting it done, and make sure to slap that subscribe and check out other videos.